Hello students, today we will see the next article of matrices. In 11th class, we have studied basic concepts of matrix and some information about matrices. And in 12th class, we will see the remaining concepts and articles related to these matrices. We will start with the introduction of matrices. The matrix was first introduced by English mathematician James Sylvester, and that introduction was developed by the great mathematician Arthur Cayley. This Cayley is very much famous in matrix because he worked with the mathematician Hamilton, and there is one theorem which is names of two mathematicians, that is Cayley-Hamilton theorem. In 11th class, we have learned the basic concepts of mathematics. Let us see the definition of matrix. Matrix is an rectangular arrangement of numbers or elements in the form of rows or columns. For example, matrix is denoted by capital letter A, and it is a rectangular arrangement of elements. Suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. This is the arrangement of elements in the form of row. This is first row, we call it as R1. This is second row, that is R2. This one is first column, this is second column C2, and this one is third column C2. So this matrix has 2 rows and 3 columns. Its order is written as 2 into 3. It means 2 rows and 3 columns. If suppose matrix A has m rows and m columns, then it is written in this way. This matrix has m rows and n columns. So matrix is a rectangular arrangement, and we know that every square is a rectangle. So this matrix may be rectangular or in square shape. That is, suppose for example second B, that is 4, 2, 3, minus 1. This is also a matrix of same order of order 2 by 2 means 2 rows and 2 columns. So this is nothing but the matrix. Then why we are learning this matrix? Because it is very much useful in so many fields of science and commerce. For example, this matrix is used in algebra. Uses of matrices. It is used in algebra for solving system of equations, system of linear equations. Also in computer, it is used in graph theory, in statistics, it is used in representation of data, such as collection of people or population data such as growth and decay, population, growth or decay. Then it is also used in economics. It is also used in operation research. So these are also, it is used in physics or chemistry to represent the data of so many elements, data of so many physical quantities. In operations research, there are so many different branches or in which matrix we can easily use. In economics, so many economical information can be represented by using matrices. So these are various branches and so many branches in which we can use matrix. So these are the uses of matrix. After this, we will go towards the basic concepts that we have learned in 11th class. After this definition of matrix, we have learned the types of matrices. In 11th class, we have learned so many different types of matrices. Let us start with rectangular matrix. I will just revise the names, not the detailed definitions. Rectangular matrix means a matrix which has different number of rows and columns. Then square matrix, a matrix having equal number of rows and columns. Then zero matrix or null matrix means a matrix which contains all elements at 0. Then row matrix, a matrix which contains only single row, one row. Then number of columns may be 2, 3 or 4, that is known as the row matrix. It is like this, A, B, C. Then column matrix, it contains only one single column containing elements 1 to 1 suppose. Then diagonal matrix, it is a square matrix in which only diagonal elements are there which are non-zero, remaining elements are 0. This is diagonal matrix. Then scalar matrix in which all these diagonal elements are same, that is 2, 2, 2, then it's a scalar matrix. Then unit matrix, if all the diagonal elements are 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0 or 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, these are nothing but the unit matrices. Then after that, lower triangular matrix. This is a matrix in which elements are like this: 1, 0, 0, 2, minus 1, 5, 3, 2, 0. Means these elements, non-zero elements are at lower triangle, so it is known as the lower triangular matrix. The next type is upper triangular matrix. In this case, the elements, non-zero elements are at upper triangle, suppose 5, 7, 9, and these elements are 0. So this triangle here, non-zero elements form a triangle, so it's a upper triangular matrix. Then symmetric matrix. Symmetric matrix means if you take the transpose of matrix and if you get the same matrix again, then that matrix is said to be symmetric matrix. Transpose means interchange of rows and columns. Then skew symmetric matrix. In this case, if we obtain transpose of that matrix and it is equal to negative of that matrix, then that matrix is said to be skew symmetric matrix. Then real matrix, obviously that word itself suggests that if the elements of matrix are real numbers, then that matrix is said to be a real matrix. Then next part is singular matrix. It is related to the determinant of corresponding matrix. If the determinant of matrix is equal to 0, then that matrix is said to be singular matrix. Then non-singular matrix. If determinant of A is not equal to 0, that matrix is said to be non-singular matrix. This will be this concept of singular non-singular matrix. It will be used in our next article, that is the inverse of matrix. So these are some types of matrices which we have done in 11th class, and the last most important, that is equal matrices. That also we have learned in 11th class. Equal matrices means if the corresponding elements of two matrices are same, then these two matrices are said to be equal matrices. If here is -4, here is +4, then these two matrices are not equal. For equality, we have to select the same, or corresponding elements must be same. So these are equal matrices. These are some concepts or types of matrices that we have learned in 11th class. Now in this 12th class, we will study some different types of matrices. I will just give you an introduction of those types. One is complex matrix. Not in 12th also, but in further studies we will study complex matrix. Complex matrix means if matrix contains complex numbers as elements, then that matrix is said to be complex matrix. Then after that, conjugate of a matrix. It can be obtained by taking the conjugate elements of complex matrix. Whenever we will learn conjugate, obviously it's a complex matrix. Then after that, Hermitian matrix. Then skew Hermitian matrix. These all types students will learn in their pre-graduation level. So these are about the matrices. Now let us see the next part that we have studied in 11th class. That is nothing but the algebra of matrices. Algebra of matrices. In this algebra of matrices, students have learned addition of two matrices, then subtraction of two matrices, and multiplication of two matrices. Addition is nothing but the addition of corresponding elements of two matrices having the same order. Subtraction means the subtraction of corresponding elements of two matrices having the same order. And in case of multiplication, it is very much different than our usual multiplication. We have learned that multiplication in 11th class. And the main point to remember that the multiplication of two matrices AB is not equal to BA always. Means AB is not equal to BA, means matrix multiplication is not commutative, that we have studied. But addition is commutative and associative also. But subtraction, it is also not commutative because it will be negative of that. But A minus B is equal to minus of B minus A. So this is about the algebra of matrices that we have studied in 11th class. Now, in 12th class, we will start with the elementary operations. Instead of types and algebra, we will start with the operations on matrices. Operations on matrices. Before learning different operations, we will start with elementary transformations. The concept of elementary transformations. We will first see which are our elementary transformations. Let us see first one, that is A. That is nothing but the interchange of rows and columns. We can interchange any two rows or columns. Instead of let's take or. Interchange of rows or columns. It is represented by symbol Ri, interchange Rj, where I and j is nothing but the number of that row number. For simplicity, let us take example A. That is, A is a matrix containing elements 2, 5, 7, suppose 3, 2, 1. For this matrix, we can use this operation of interchange of rows. If we interchange R1 by R2 and by R1 interchange R2, we get matrix as means in the position of first row we will write second row, and in the position of second row we will write first row. So second row is 3 to 1, we write it as first row 3 to 1. First row is 2 5 7, it becomes second row, that is 2 5 7. So this is the matrix, new matrix obtained by operating this operation of interchange of two rows. So this is our initial matrix A. We have changed this matrix in other matrix. So this we will write this as A equivalent to another matrix. Actually this is another matrix B, but no need to take again symbol B. We will use the same symbol A because it is related to A or it is obtained from A, but it is equivalent to A. This equivalent is not has the same meaning of equal. This equal to matrices A and B, and A equivalent to B. These two have different meanings. In this case, the corresponding elements are same, but in this equivalent of two matrices, corresponding elements are not same because here 2, here 3, 5 2, 7 1. Second row is different. So this matrix is called as the equivalent matrix of matrix A. This is by this operation. Let us take one more example. Suppose C2 interchange C3 by this operation. What we will get? We get A equivalent. We have to interchange two columns, second column and third column. Just interchange their positions. Obviously here in this case, first column will remain as it is. So 2 3, that is our first column. Second column is instead of 5 2 we get 7 1. Third column is obviously 5 2. So this is the new matrix which is equivalent to matrix A obtained by interchange of second row and second column and third column. So this is the interchange of rows or columns. Let us see. In case of column, we write in general Ci interchange Cj. Let us see the second elementary transformation. That is the multiplication by a scalar, obviously non-zero, to all the elements all the elements of any row or column. Here, if we take matrix A as 2, 3, -1, 5, -2, 7, 9, 1, 0. Then we can take the multiple of, let us consider that K is a non-zero scalar. Then we can take multiple of each element of certain row or certain column, or we can multiply all elements of this column by K, and it can be written as by, suppose we will multiply this second row by K, then we will write it as by R2 implies K into R2. This is the change in R2, so that R2 is multiple of, or each element of second row is multiple of K. So we will write it as K is equal to, here we are changing only second row, so first row remains as it is 2, 3, -1, third row also 9, 1, 0. A change in only in second row. We are multiplying this second row by K, so it will become 5K. This is -2, so -2K. This is 7, so 7K. So this is our new matrix, which is equivalent to K, obtained by taking the multiple of each element of the second row. Similarly, we can take, or we can obtain another matrix by column multiples. Means suppose by, I will multiply third column, means we will change third column into, suppose 3 times C3. If I want to multiply each element of third column by 3, then it can be written as third column is changed so that it is 3 times C3. So first column, second column remains as it is. So 2, 5, 9, 3, -2, 1. Let us multiply each element by 3. We get -3. 7 into 3, that is 21. And 0 into 3 is 0. So this is the new matrix obtained by this operation, that is scalar multiply. Okay. In general, we write this as Ri interchange to K times Ri, or Ci get changed into K times Ci, or we can take Cj. So this is the general symbol of representation of this operation. Let us see third one. Third operation. Third elementary operation, that is addition of scalar multiples of the elements of a row or column. Scalar multiples of the elements of a row or column with the corresponding elements of any other row or column. Inverse, this property is very large, but if we understand with an example, it will become very easy. For example, again, let us consider matrix A as 3, 6, -1, 5, 2, 4, -4, 4, 11. This is matrix A. what we are doing here, we are taking the addition of scalar multiples of elements of a row. Scalar multiples of a row. Let us take multiple of row. That means we are using second property. That is, let us take that operation. Write operation by we want to change, suppose, first row. Then we will write R1 implies R1 is getting changed, so that R1 plus 2 times of R2. What is this? Scalar multiple of row. This is the scalar multiple of row, and we are adding the corresponding elements of that row in the corresponding elements of first row. So here we get A equivalent to, what to do? We have to change R1, not R2, because R1 is getting changed only. So R2 and R3 are same. So write first 5, 2, 4, minus 4, 4, 1. Here, what we are doing, R1 plus twice R2. R1 is 3 plus twice of 5. Here, first element is 6 plus twice of 2. Here is minus 1 plus twice of 4. So this operation we have to use in first row for the corresponding elements. Then we get the matrix equivalent to this as, this is 10 plus 3, that is 13, 4 plus 6, that is 10, and 8 minus 1, that is 7. And the remaining rows, second row and third row, are as it is. There is no change in those rows. So this is the new matrix obtained by this operation. So this is the third type of elementary operation that we will use to get different matrices or equivalent matrices. In case of column matrices or columns, we can write the same operation as Ci can be changed to Ci plus k into Cj, because these two rows are different. In case of rows, we can write here Ri can be obtained Ri plus k into Rj. So this is the general representation of these operations in terms of rows and columns. So up to this we have three basic elementary operations, and using these three basic operations we can obtain the next important concept of matrices, that is inverse of the matrix. I will once again note down the basic operations, basic elementary operations. First operation is interchange of rows and interchange of columns. Second, multiplication of all elements of a row by a scalar, that is Ri, get changed into KRI, or Cj is changed into multiple of all elements of that j column. And third that we have studied, that is Ri is changed into Ri plus Krj, or Cj can be changed into Cj plus Kcr, where k is a scalar which is not equal to 0, means non-zero scalar. So remember these three ways of operating operations on matrices. Let us see some examples based on these elementary operations of matrices. First one, matrix A is given -1 0 and 1 0 and minus 1 3. And on this matrix we have to apply the operation, apply R1 interchange R2. R1 interchange R2. So since A is equal to 1 0 minus 1 3 by R1 interchange R2, we get A equivalent. R1 interchange R2 means we will write second row on the position of first row and first row on the position of second row. Here is 1 0 is first row, we will write it as second row. Second row is minus 1 3, we write it as first row. So this is the simple one example. Let us see another example, number 2. B is 1 0 2 and 2 4 5, and the question is asked to apply minus 3 times R1. This is the one. B, apply minus 3 times R1. Then we will get here B equivalent to, what to do here, we have to multiply each element of first row by minus 3. This is our first row. So multiply each element by minus 3. You get 1 into minus 3 is minus 3, 0 into minus 3 0, and 2 into minus 3 is minus 6. And second row remains as it is. There is no change in second row because only single operation is given. Let us see one next example. Example number 3. Matrix C is given. Minus 1 1 3. First row. Second row 2 1 0. Third row 3 3 1. And on this matrix C, we have to operate two operations. First, that is 3 times R3, and second operation C3 plus 2 times C2. Third column plus double of second column. Then in this example, we will first operate first, that is we will take the multiple of third row. Here C is given, directly I will write the answer, that is C is equivalent to by 3 times R2. So there is no change in R1 and R2. R1 is minus 1 1 3, R2 is 2 1 0, and R3 is the 3 times multiple of each element. 3 into 3, that is 9, 3 into 3 is 9, and 1 into 3 is 3. So we get this. We can write the reason after this operation, that is by 3 times R3, or we can write this as R3 change into 3 times R3. By both ways we can represent this operation. Let's see second. Sometimes we can write operation after the actual conclusion. Otherwise, write first operation, that is by C3. Now in this case, C3 will get changed because it is written first, and then there is no change in C2. So we can write here C3 implies C3 plus twice of C2, and this by this operation we get matrix C equivalent to the matrix, as there is change in only C3. So C1 and C2, first column, the second column remains as it is, that is minus 1 2 3 1 1 and 3. In third column, we will add double of each element of second column. In third column, we will add the double of each element of second column. So double of 1 is 2 and we will add it here with 3. So 3 plus double of 2. Here 0 plus double of 1. 1 plus double of 3. So we can write this is equal to, or in next step we can write that is C is equivalent to, what is this? Again first two columns are same, minus 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 3, no change in first two columns. Third column 3 plus 4, that is 7. Is 0 plus 2 is 2 and 1 plus 6, that is 7. So this is the resultant equivalent matrix of the given matrix C by this operation C3 plus twice C2. So remember, there is change in only first row or column, not in second. If instead of this, if suppose twice of C2 means C2 implies twice of C2 plus C3, it is given, then there will be change in C2, not in C3. First we will take the multiple of C2 and then we will add the corresponding elements of third column in second column. So C2 will get changed. Okay, remember this difference. And we will see last but important example. It will be used in finding the inverse of matrices. That is our most important next article of matrix. So learn carefully this next example. Let us see next example number 4. Convert the matrix A equal to 1 minus 1 2 3 into an identity matrix by suitable elementary row transformations. We can convert this matrix A into an identity matrix by two ways. First is by operating the row transformations, and second, column transformations. Let us obtain the identity matrix of order. The given matrix A is of order 2 by 2. So we will convert this A into identity matrix of order 2 by 2. For that, A is given 1 minus 1 2 3. So first step, by we require in identity matrix of order 2 by 2 is like this 1 0 0 1. This is our identity matrix of order 2 by 2. We need 1 at first row, first column position. Here actually 1 is given. This first element 1 is called as the pivot element. So this is 1. So now we are operating row transformation. So we will observe column. We will first make this first column as 1 0. In row transformations, we will convert first column 1 2 as 1 0. So this 1 is already given. Now we want here 0, means we want to convert these 2 into 0. So how can we get 0 from 2? If we subtract 2 from 2, then we get here 0. So we can take that 2 from this 1. If you multiply this first row by 1, by 2, and it's subtracted from this second row, then we get this second, means second row first column element as 0. So by R2 minus twice of R1, we get A equivalent to, we are changing R2, so there is no change in R1. So R1 is as it is 1 minus 1. Here R2 minus twice means 2 minus twice of 1, that is 0. 3 minus twice of this, the twice becomes minus 2 and its negative is plus 2. So 3 plus 2, that is 5. So this is the first column C1 as required, we obtained here. Now we will go towards this second column. In this second column, we will obtain first 1 at this last position. But here we have 5 now. We have to convert this 5 into 1. So we can multiply this second row by 1 by 5 because we want 1 at the position of 5. 5 is given and we want 1. So if you divide this 5 by 5, we get answer 1. This division can be written in the form of multiplication as 1/5 of 5 is equal to 1. So we will multiply this 5 is in R2 column. So we will operate here this elementary operation, that is 1/5 of R2. So by second step, by 1/5 of R2, we get A equivalent. Here we are operating on R2. So first row will remain as it is, that is 1 minus 1. Here by multiplying 1 by 5 to this 0, we get again 0. By multiplying 1 by 5 with 5, we get 1. This is our second step. Now what will be the last step? Because at this position now we want 0, this 0. So minus 1 we can make here 0 if we add 1 to this minus 1, and 1 is present here. So if we add R2 in R1, means by R1 plus R2, we will change R1, not R2, because we want change in R1 first row. So A is equivalent to first row R1 plus R2, 1 plus 0, 1. Already we have made here 0, so there will be no change in this first element. Then minus 1 plus 1 is 0, and the second row 0, 1 remain as it is. So this will be the conversion of this matrix A into corresponding identity matrix by these three operations. Let us see similar operations on columns. In case of column matrices, column transformations, we will consider this identity matrix 1, 0, 0, 1. In column operations, transformations, we will convert this first row 1 minus 1 into 1, 0. Means we will see this first row. We will convert first row in this form 1, 0, and after that we will convert this second row R2 in 0, 1. So let us make the required operations. Here once again the given matrix A is 1 minus 1, 2 and 3. Now here we have to select the operations so that we get 1 here, but already 1 is given, so no need to change this first element 1. In this second element of first row is 0, but given here it is minus 1. So if we add these two elements, means if we add column, first column in second column, means by C2 plus C1, we will get change in C2 because we want change here in second column. So it will give us A equivalent to, first column will be as it is, that is minus 1 and 2. There is no change in first column because we are changing second column. So minus 1 plus 1 becomes here 0 and 3 plus 2 5. This is our first step. Then by now if you observe, we got first row 1 0. Now we want to convert second row. In second row you will first change this last element as 1. You want this 5, instead of 5 you want 1. So if you multiply this 5 by 1 by 5 means by 1/5 of C2, by 1/5 of C2. As already we have made here 0, there will be no change in this element. So we get A equivalent to, we are changing second column, so no change in first column, that is first column remain as it is. Next, in second column we are multiplying each element by 1 by 5, so 1 by 5 into 0 is 0, 1 by 5 into 5 is 1. So we get required that last element 1. Now we want to change this element, second row first column element 2. For that, here is 1, so this is first column. If we subtract double of second column from first, then we get here 0. So by C1 minus 2 times C2, by C1 means we want change in first column, so C1 minus double of this C2. So we get here A equivalent to, this C1 is 1, 1 minus double of 0 is again 1, 2 minus of 2, that is 0, and these remaining elements 0 and 1 are, therefore it is equal to, which implies A is equivalent to identity matrix of order 2. This A is also equivalent to identity matrix. So in this way, by row transformations and by column transformations, we have converted this matrix A into an identity matrix of the same order. So these are two ways to convert the matrix into identity matrix. I think we have performed so many operations on this matrix. So remember all these transformations, first, second and third, which are useful in converting any matrix into identity matrix, because it will be useful in finding inverse of the matrix. Okay, this much is enough in this article. Thank you.